Hello, in today's video we're going to be solving problem number 16 here in differential equations. So off the bat we can see it takes the linear form, first order, so we know we're going to be working with the general formula and process that we use, which you can find on page 60, section 3.2. So if you read through the section, it walks through how you get to this final product. But instead of doing that, we can skip and just find what this integrating factor m of x here is. So we know that m of x is going to be this constant times e to the integral of this term here. So what do we got? Tangent x. We also know that this integral is going to evaluate to what? Natural log of secant x. You could also write negative natural log of cosine x, but I just brought the negative in and flipped it. So you can obviously see this is going to cancel out, so you're going to end up with just c secant x is the factor. So if we multiply that through, what do we get? C secant x times y prime plus c secant x tangent x y equals sine of x times secant x, that's just sine x over cosine x, which is just tangent x. This is where it's good to know your trig. So now what I'm noticing is that the derivative of this term is the same as the derivative of this term, and then this guy is the derivative of this guy. So that's going to take the form of product rule. So what are we going to have? d dx of this constant, because it's carried throughout. You actually don't even really need to include it in there. So we got the constant times y, because we know we're going to have a y prime term and a y term. And then we know derivative of secant x is a secant tangent. So we're going to have y secant x. And you can verify this gives you that. Equals tangent x. Now we're going to integrate on both sides with respect to x. These guys are inverse operations. Cy secant x equals integral of tangent. Again, natural log secant x, don't forget the plus c. We can divide over this c over here. Now, these are arbitrary terms, so we're just going to multiply a c in front, leave this as a c as well. You can call it another constant, call it c2. So you got y secant x equals c1 ln secant x plus c2. Last step is dividing by secant x, which is the same as multiplying by cosine x. So we get the final solution is c1 cosine x ln secant x plus c2 cosine x. And that is your solution. One more quick distinction to make is that plugging this back in, we had the y prime is this term here. Doing product rule. If you plug it in, you see that you end up with a c1, that's not a g. Please believe me. That is a c1, c of x equals sine x. Obviously, this is going to be true so long as c1 equals 1. In this case, since we don't have conditions, we can't actually solve for side constants other than we know that this is true.